What is up, ladies and gents? I'm Mike and welcome back to Monster Breakdown. If you're new here, this is a series where we break down monsters we fight in Monster Hunter World. Today's hunt is the Tyrant of the Desert, Diablos.
That's tasty!
Diablos is one of the hardest hitting and most intimidating monsters in the world. From its outrageous speed to its hyper aggression, Diablos is a prime example of a monster fighting with all its strength to make sure of its survival at any cost. Through its several versions of charging, flailing, and burrowing, Diablos will stop at nothing to kill you. Knowing this, we need to know his weak points and his status and elemental weakness. Screamer pods or screamer bombs are the way to keep Diablos from burrowing and wrecking your face with its upheaval charge. Your timing has to be right with your throw. Now, so you guys know, your window is when Diablos completely burrows itself to when Diablo jumps out of the ground. In older games, you couldn't use the screamer pods while he was in rage, but in World it seems like you can, but you only have 1 to 2 seconds to use it. Try Paralyze, because Diablos is weak to it. Now, I've been able to paralyze it 3 to 4 times in a single hunt without the use of the Apothecary Mantle. It is a great way to break the horns or cut the tail if you're having a rough time doing so. Use the rock pillars in Area 15. If you're able to charge it and hit the pillars' horns first, it will find itself stuck, granting you some time to lay down the smackdown. It's a little finicky when it's enraged though. There's been times where Diablos went right through it completely, and there's other times he got stuck, so use this in caution. Bow is king because of the damage you can possibly do to Diablos. If you're not a bow player or don't care for the bow, disregard this tip. But if you happen to be a bow player, you have to aim your Dragon Piercer a little differently. Diablos is damage resistant to the typical aim from the head to the tail shot lineup. The wings are what you want to aim for, but you can't angle the shot to hit wing to wing. So my suggestion is line up your shot at an angle from the side of its face through the wing. The charge will probably catch you off guard and wreck your shit. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to stop the charge unless you flash bang him or use one of the flash bugs on the arena. There is a long windup or easy tell for this move, so watch for Diablo to spread his wings and lower its head, and then it will charge. Diablo has a second version of the charge where he takes a couple steps to the side and kinda sizes you up and then lunges towards you and tries to clip you with his horns. It's not a full-on charge, but it can be a little misleading. One thing I want to mention before we move on is that tempered Diablos can one-shot you with these moves depending on your armor, of course. Tail swat isn't the typical sweep or spin, but slamming of its tail to the right and then to the left, and then back from the left to the right. It has a huge hitbox and can hit you while you're on your side. Quick insight: when he charges past you, follow Diablos. And then when you approach him, do it from the far outside to get a couple good hits in. Burrowing Charge is Diablos' staple move where he digs into the ground, charges you to leap out from underneath you. You can completely render this move useless if you bring Screamer Pods and throw it after the tail is completely submerged, like I stated in the tip section. If you don't have any Screamer Pods, stay on the move and stay away from the tremors. You can time it to where you roll just as he leaps out. You can block it with your weapon if it allows it, or you can panic dive, being the safest option. Hip check is one of the moves you really don't see much when you're using the bow. But if you're using a melee weapon, watch for a sidestep and prepare to roll towards it. Depending on the elevation of the terrain, you might be able to roll towards the tail and completely avoid it as well. Sandfall isn't really a move, but I have to mention it. Once he gets to area 14, and you have the 2 sandfalls to worry about. Now, whenever Diablos burrows into the ground, he can leap out of one of the sandfalls. The thing is you can see Diablo travel while he's underground to the Sandfalls. So look for Tremors or ground cracking to see which one Diablos chooses. Then run back to the tunnel leading to Area 15 and completely negate this move. We have gone over all his moves, tells, and gave you some helpful tips. Now hopefully you can beat Diablo solo on a consistent basis. If you guys liked this breakdown and it helped, hit the like button down below. If you want to keep up to date with my uploads, subscribe as well. I've also done a bunch of channel updating, my video description, my channel, with my social media, all that stuff's down there, so check them out. And one more thing, leave the next monster you want to see in the breakdown in the comment section below. Thanks guys, ladies. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.